Hello, darlings. How are you? Okay, I want to do a little bit of a self-empowerment type of message today. My message to you and to several people in my life that I'm watching dangle, get the fucking divorce. You're not helping your children by staying in a toxic marriage. You're not helping your children at all. As someone who, my earliest memories were my parents fighting. And I'm talking like my earliest memories are watching my father punch a hole in a wall because my mom was being such a twat. My earliest memories are of my parents fighting constantly. So, the reason I say to go ahead and get the fucking divorce is that you even if you don't do it for yourself, because you deserve happiness. Just because you signed a fucking piece of paper and signed a contract does not mean that you are bound to that person for the rest of your fucking life. You just aren't. You just fucking aren't. You are not the same person you were a year ago, much less however many years ago you got married. You are not the same fucking person. They're not the same fucking person. Why should you both be holding yourselves to an agreement that neither one of you is happy in? Obviously, because if they're angry and you're miserable, or you're miserable or you're angry and they're miserable, you know who I'm talking to when I'm talking about this. When I'm saying just get the fucking divorce, I'm talking to you guys who are in it for the kids. Those who are, it'll get better, or those whatever myriads of excuses that people have for staying in a toxic relationship. You're not doing yourself any favors. And I'll tell you the reason that I finally pulled the plug with my marriage back in, what year was that? Was it 2018, 2019? It was because I was showing my children what to expect in a marriage. I was showing my daughter that it was okay for her to eat shit sandwiches from her husband. I was showing my daughter that it was okay for her husband to treat her children like they were little pieces of shit. I was showing my daughter that that is how a husband treats their kids and their wife. I was showing my daughter that that's what you should be expecting in marriage. I was showing my son that this is how a husband treats his family. This is how a husband rules the house. And rules that very specifically was chosen. I was showing my son that his opinions, his desires, and his free will were nothing, because if they countered what his father said, then they were bullshit and they were disregarded. I was showing my son that that's okay. I was showing my son that he was not intelligent enough to make decisions for himself, that the father gets to be the one to rule the roost and make all the judgment calls. That's how you treat your wife. That you go sit on the fucking sofa and eat a goddamn bag of fucking chips while your wife's, who worked all fucking day and then comes home and cleans and fucking cooks, you walk right by that kitchen table where your wife and kids are sitting there waiting for you to be able to come join them for dinner. You walk by and go get a bag of chips and go back downstairs. That kind of bullshit is what I was teaching my son was okay. You are leading by example. How are our kids supposed to learn anything different if we don't fucking change it? If we don't fucking stand up for ourselves and them? Because by my divorcing him, my children got at least 50% of their life where they didn't have to live under that fear. And they were afraid of their father. There was never any physical abuse, but I will tell you what, that man could rip you to fucking shreds, take you out at the fucking knees and leave you whimpering within 3 sentences. And he did it often enough that my children were afraid of him. So by my staying in that relationship, I was teaching my children that that is what a marriage looks like. So when I got the cojones to finally be like, no, no. And I'll tell you, my kids for years begged me to divorce him. They were like, will you please get him out of here? Will you please make our life easier? Please make him go away. And I finally did. It was hard. It was fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie. There were a lot of fucking tears. There were a lot of fucking nights when I doubted everything about what I had just done, but I'd never change it. I think the only thing I'd change is if I would have done it sooner. I would have done it sooner, because for every extra moment that I perpetuated that farce of a marriage, my children got more and more damaged. There's more things that my children are now going to have to learn to get through. Yeah, I would have done it sooner is the only change I would have made. But hindsight's 2020, right? I wasn't ready for it. What I needed to do was prepare myself. So, I don't know. Get the divorce, you guys. You are not ever going to be led astray or not taken care of by your spirit team. If you jump out there and jump in with both feet and have faith, you got this. Get the fucking divorce. Don't do that to your kids. Again, as someone who grew up in the middle of that adversity, as someone who is now on the back end of trying to undo the damage that was done to my kids that didn't need to be done. They didn't need to have to live through that. Anyway, get the fucking divorce. Life's too short to be miserable all the time. And honestly, I mean, seriously, there is nothing. I don't care what book you fucking read. If it's coming from source, if it's coming from God, truly, and not bastardized by humans who are trying to control a narrative, your happiness is all you need to be thinking about. And if you're married to a fucking asshole, those things don't go together. Get the fucking divorce. Truly. Feel free to pass this on to anyone who needs to fucking hear this message. This is one of those where I feel like there are a lot of us who need to hear this message, or needed, there are a lot of people out there who need to hear this, that really need to take it to heart and take more than just their fear into consideration. They need to take their next generation into consideration. They need to take the ancestral trauma that they are creating into consideration. It's bigger than just you, but at the same time, it is all about just you and your happiness. And being stuck in a miserable marriage definitely is not on your journey. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great day.